Hey guys, this is Dale Calvert. Appreciate you being with us. 12:30, close to it. Hey, appreciate you jumping on. For some of you early birds, we're gonna give people a couple of minutes to jump on here. But I'm going to share something that is extremely, extremely important, and something that people don't talk about. And I'll tell you how all this came about. Let me see who's jumping on. When you jump on, guys, just let me know where you're from. Just type in your state. Oh, hi, awesome. Oh, yeah, I know who that is. Great to have you. My phone's acting up just a little bit. I can't see you there you are. But anyway, guys, today we're going to share something that most people, Carl, hey, how you doing, Carl from Texas? We're going to share with you Owensboro, Kentucky. Wow, that's phenomenal. I haven't been to Owensboro in a while. I'd like to come down there and get some barbecue soon, moonlight. Cindy in Seattle. Shelly, good to have you guys. Appreciate you being with us. For those of you that are on Periscope for the first time, just, you can tap the screen and you'll see the stars, or the hearts. And if you swipe, I think, up to down on the screen, then you'll share this Periscope with other people. Hearts means you're relating with what we're saying, which gives me motivation. So, me up during the middle of this. This is important. If you're involved in network marketing, I'm just going to tell you a story. What happened for us yesterday? Dawn and I, there's a new Panera Bread, believe it or not, in our little small town here in Kentucky. And, of course, we have one in Atlanta, and I don't like Panera that well. Dawn loves it, and I've written articles about this. You walk in Panera Bread, and all you see is middle-aged women and dudes with computer geeks on their laptops, and that's the market for Panera Bread. But for whatever, it's not terrible, but I got burnt out on it because a few years ago, when they first started, I was flying into Orlando doing events about one a month, and this one gentleman always picked me up at the airport, and we would always stop at Panera Bread. We would have a Friday leaders meeting before the Saturday event, always at the meeting room at Panera Bread. And he's a great guy, but I got totally burnt out on Panera Bread. And the reason, and I thought, why do you go to Panera Bread so much? And he says, I have stock in the company. So he had stock in the company, so he just wanted to give them as much of my business as he possibly could. But anyway, guys, who else we got joining us here on Periscope this morning? If I haven't seen your name or typed it out, let me see who we got with us. Type in your name. Appreciate the hearts. Okay. Okay, here we go. Yesterday, Dawn and I went to Panera Bread. When it was over, I had to take her drop her off at CVS. And I don't know what she had to get, probably some hairspray or something. If you want to buy stock in something, buy it in a hairspray company. But she came, so while she's in CVS, I'm waiting in the parking lot, and I pulled my phone out, and I said, well, there's somebody who was doing a training, this new distributor orientation training for XYZ company, and he was doing it on Periscope, so I just clicked to watch this guy. And first of all, let me say, it appeared that he had a tripod set up, shooting his TV. He had a really nice presentation done where he was going to he looks like he had a group of 5 or 6 distributors there and was going to take them through a new distributor orientation. And I thought, admirable, good move, guy. Spend some time with those new people. Don't just give them the Go Sick 'em training program. So all that was good. And then he gets the company's kit, and he reaches in the kit, and he pulls out this little tabletop one-on-one presentation. And he was showing how it worked, that when you flipped it over, you could read on the back what to say because you knew what they were seeing on the front end. So if you're at the coffee shop, you put this little presentation on the table, you flip the page over, you read it, and it relates to what they're seeing on that page. and y'all get the idea because y'all, unfortunately, if you've been around this industry very long, unfortunately, you've seen these things. So he was doing that. And probably about 2 weeks ago, we were traveling back from somewhere, and we stopped in a Starbucks. And I go in, and we kind of have our routine, and I go in and order our coffee. And anyway, while I'm walking through, I look over, and like, there's somebody that's got one of these little tabletop presentations. And they were involved in a network marketing company. They had their samples out, and they were going through it, and they were doing that. And we wonder sometimes, why do we keep, as an industry, as leaders in the industry, continue to shoot ourselves in the foot over and over and over and over again? You say, well, Dale, what are you talking about? Our company has one of those. It tells me exactly what to... there's two things you have to understand. Two. This is the least important, but it's something for you to understand. When we're communicating with people about an opportunity that can change their life, change their family's life forever, and we have one of these tabletop presentations that we're sitting down at Denny's or Starbucks or wherever, and we're reading the back of what it says so they can relate to the slide in the front, what level of communication are we communicating at? See, there's 5 levels of communication. Number 1 is chit-chat. Number 2 is restating the facts. Number 3 is an I believe statement. Number 4 is emotion. Number 5 is communicating with conviction and emotion. If I'm doing a flip chart like that, I'm communicating at level 2. I'm restating the facts. When you communicate at level 2, the odds of you ever inspiring anybody to do anything, unless maybe it's your favorite aunt, is slim to none. Okay, so that type of presentation in and of itself is very, very, very ineffective. Now, I was trying to find my old pitch book here. It's here somewhere at the office, and I'll find it one day, and I'm going to share it with you guys, because when I started, that was the only way you could do it. And I can't tell you how many hours of my life I have spent at a Denny's waiting for a prospect that never showed up. And why anybody would want to put that type of pain on a new distributor is beyond me. Because I promise you, today in America, today in the world, there are distributors all over the world that are sitting in coffee shops and Starbucks, sitting there looking at their watch, wondering where their appointment is, with their little pitch book. We don't have to do that. Okay, we do not have to do that as an industry. We shouldn't do that as an industry. It's a terrible move as an industry and for anybody that's trying to build an organization. Here's my last and most important concept, and here's why. See, this is not I'm just trying to share with you. And see, some of you get offended. Well, Dale, I use pitch books and I do pretty good. Listen, I did too. Okay, I had a point where I had sponsored 26 people in a row with my custom done pitch book, because it wasn't just a lot of facts. I had a lot of emotion. I had, here's our first bonus card that we received from the company. Here's our second bonus card. And then I would show different people's stories that had qualified for our leaders, that had qualified for cars in their organization. I had samples of checks, which, again, that's, a long time ago. It's not supposed to be used as an inducement, but when you can show somebody that these people are making more part-time than they are at their full-time job, I showed the vacations that the company paid for us, where we went on, had pictures, 8x10s, and I was telling the story of what had happened in our life, and it's a whole lot different than the company was founded in so-and-so by so-and-so who hired Dr. So-and-so. It was totally different, but back to my main point. You have a brand new person just joined your team. They have their best prospect that they will ever have who is willing to take a look at the program. Who do you want sharing the presentation? Who do you want sharing the presentation in that scenario? I don't care if you're a leader that's been around the industry for 35, 40 years. I don't care if you're a corporate owner. I don't care who you are. It's just an honest question. Because every day, all over this industry, all over the world, people are sitting down, brand new people are sitting down and exposing the opportunity to the best prospect that we'll ever have. And we're teaching them to do it. We're teaching them as an industry, as leaders, to do that. Here's what I believe, guys. Burn your pitch book. Don't allow people to use it. If your company sends them out, you say, when you get your kit, the first thing I want you to do is reach in there and you'll find this little book and read through it once. Maybe make some notes if it's something you think you need to hear, and then take it and put it in your trash can. Smartest move you'll ever make. Here's why. Most companies today have conference calls, most have webinars. They're the same time every week. Like, say, Thursday night, 9 o'clock is when we do our company overview webinar. On that company overview webinar, hopefully, you're going to have somebody that's been around a while, that understands the product, understands the comp plan, and can explain it very simply, that has some experience in this industry, has had a track record, that is on that conference call, not BSing people, but just sharing from their heart what your company is about, what your product's about, what it could mean for that prospect and their family in the future, with some good, well thought out testimonies, not people just rambling about their cat, and good, well thought out, boom, 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 boom testimonies. And that's a topic for another Periscope. Now, would you rather have your brand new person listening to that person, or would you rather them be sitting down at a Starbucks, stumbling their way through a desktop easel presentation? To me, the answer is beyond obvious. It's beyond obvious. And why companies today still include those type of pitch books in their distributor kits blows my mind. And see, somebody at corporate is thinking, you know what? If we can give them a way to share the product real quick, then we'll probably do more volume. Which is totally not true. But that's the mindset. That decision has to be made by somebody that's never been in the field, sitting at Denny's after they drive to a community and wait 45 minutes for somebody that never shows up. If you do this right, you can have 12 people lined up to be on the Thursday night webinar to get their questions answered. Okay, how long would it take you to sit down individually with 12 people at a coffee shop and stumble your way through a presentation? Guys, see, this kind of stuff to me just seems to be common sense, but it's not common. It is far beyond common in this industry today. And if you know what would help the network marketing profession as a whole? Somebody giving me comments here. I've got my screen where I can't read them initially. I don't know what's going on. But you know what would help the network marketing industry in a whole is if today, this is what, August 3rd or 4th, every network marketer in the world burnt their pitch books. My pitch book that I used when I first started years and years ago, I used it because it was the only option. There was no such thing as conference calls. There was no such thing as webinars. There's a lot of people that would never, ever, ever have done that didn't do the business back then because they couldn't imagine themselves learning that book, learning what I just went through. I know that. The day the VHS came out, the video was after I got my hands on my first VHS, I paid over $70 for this VHS opportunity video. The first day I got it, the first one, I plugged it in, I watched it. It was really good. It wasn't awesome, but it was good. But I knew that day I will never, ever do another one-on-one presentation the rest of my career, because I can teach somebody how to take this VHS and put in somebody's recorder player and push play, with them not having to get a pitch book, not having to get copies of those pictures, not having to just, here, watch this, push play. Sit there, don't even listen to anything they say. Just watch it like you've seen it for the first time. Oh, when they're finished, pop it out, say, are you open for more information? And if they say, yeah, I'd like to learn more about that, then say, what are you doing Thursday night? And that's when they get to hear the full story. If they say, nah, Dale, I don't think nah, okay, appreciate it. Let me ask you a question, though, before I leave, and get a pencil out. If you were going to do this, who would be the first person you talk to? Because I know while you were watching this, you were thinking somebody would be great at this type of program. Who were you thinking about? Well, I work with a guy named Tom, and he's kind of got all these side gigs going all the time. Tom's kind of an entrepreneur. Tom, what's Tom's last name? Tom King. Okay, does he live here? Okay, I can find him in the phone book. Who'd be the second person? Well, Dale, what are you going to do with these? I'm just going to give them the opportunity to watch the video. Are you going to mention my name about it? I said, probably not. But these people that you're giving me are a lot better than you. They're entrepreneurs. That's who I'm looking for anyway. I know you. You've never done anything entrepreneur in your life. Why would I? If I use your name, I'll probably mess it up. What was Sue's last name? Do you see what I'm saying? It's the same thing every time. In every aspect of this business, it's extremely predictable. You're going to run into the same thing. And once you know what you're doing, how to do it, game over, you win. You win. You win. You can win when you stack the odds in your favor. And if you're out there with a flip book and teaching your people to use a flip book, you are wasting more time than you can ever recover in this industry. Now, last thing, the gentleman that was on Periscope, I don't know who he was. I honestly don't even remember the company he was with. And I just want to say to that gentleman, I respect you, being extremely admirable. The fact that you would take your time, get your 5 or 6 new distributors, go through their distributor kit with them, a new distributor orientation or whatever, admirable. Intelligent, the fact that you had it on Periscope so other people around the country could plug in that were new and watch it. Admirable, great idea. I believe all team leaders should be doing that, 100%. So I am not bashing you in any way, shape, or form. I am bashing the industry as a whole that thinks that it's a good idea to get a flip book in a new person's hand instead of teaching them a system to drive them toward one event on a weekly basis that's either a conference call, could be a Periscope, or a webinar, where people of experience, of a track record, have the opportunity to explain the program. Because if you're subjecting new people to brand new to try to do that with their best prospect, no telling how many hundreds or thousands of distributors won't be sponsored today because that is the system that's being taught. Guys, I appreciate you being with me. Somebody keeps trying to call, and they know, and I because see, when people call in, it messes up the Periscope, and so that's kind of cool, really. I don't know why people are offended by that which will ultimately help their business. See, if you're using pitch books right now, and you say, well, Dale, I've sponsored 19 out of 33 people. You're not the issue. Who cares? Who cares? It's not about you. It's about what can be duplicated by the masses, by the 27 percenters. That's the game. It's not about, we're not in a sponsoring business. We're in a leadership development business. We're not in a sponsoring business. Sponsoring's a one-time, you make a commission next. And you got to do it again and again and again. We're about developing people. And we're about giving them the right tools, the right processes, the right procedures that increase their odds for success. And a pitch book is not one of those options. Now, you can try to argue with me about it if you want. I don't care. You can have your opinion. Go use your pitch book. Teach your people to use your pitch book. Keep putting your pitch books in every distributor kit that's ever shipped from now on. It's just a bad idea. It's a terrible idea. And I understand we think we're helping, but in reality we're not. And I hope what I've shared with you today, I hope that it makes sense. I hope you have an awesome holiday weekend. Our daughter's flying in from New York today. Pitch the pitch book. Absolutely pitch the pitch book. Please pitch the pitch book. And again, guys, everything that we do, we're affecting other people. See, the hardest thing for me in the world was to get a video in somebody's hands when the VHS came out. I didn't want to do that. Hard, difficult. I knew what was going to happen if I could get in front of them with my book. But I also knew that new people would never have my book or have my story or have my track record. And the best way for a new person to expose the business was to use the VHS to create credibility and then let people hear the whole story. So I had to make a difficult decision that was probably not in the best interest for myself and what I could do. But it's not about us. It's not about I own a McDonald's in Hawaii and I'm going to put pineapples on my Big Macs. And that's the mentality that is at the forefront in today's network marketing market. And that's why there's been no company that's created and maintained any kind of major momentum in the last 10 years. That's why there's no leadership. I mean, where's the leaders today? We think a leader is somebody that's made $10,000 a month in the industry. Those people are a dime a dozen. They're a dime a dozen. And just because they got lucky and did it once doesn't mean they'll ever do it again. And leaders develop other leaders. Somebody says duplication equals success, and you're right on point. That's it. That's the game. That's the game in every industry in the world except network marketing. Somehow network marketing, I don't know how it got so turned around, but it's that's why the rest of the world looks at it and thinks these people are crazy. They're nuts. And if we just stop and take a breath and get away from ourselves for a minute and look at what we're doing and not doing, it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, it'd make a major impact today in the industry if everybody would say, you know what, this weekend, we're going to burn our pitch books. I could go on about this, guys. Have an awesome weekend. Again, this is Dale Calvert. I appreciate you more than you know. I appreciate your support. Some of you are going through our online training, how to create leads with online and offline classified ads. We will have session 2 Sunday evening. You should get a notification about that. I usually don't do periscopes over the weekend. I might this weekend. I don't know. We'll just see. If I can't give you value, then I don't want to get on here and just, if I can't give you something of value, then I don't want to do it. Shelly, you have a fabulous weekend also. So that's where I'm here. After I saw what I saw yesterday in the CVS parking lot, it's like, oh my gosh, somebody's got to say something about this. I mean, I cannot believe we're still putting pitch books in distributor kits. And I know people, I know they are. Uh, you know, I had a company that that I was consulting with, and uh, I said, don't do it, don't do it. And of course they did, and of course it failed. You know, I'll make one more point, and then I'm going to jump off here because y'all are still hanging out, so I appreciate that. I'll make one more point. I was hired to consult with a company in Dallas, flew into Dallas, and we had talked several times on the phone about the process. This is what we need to do. We got to get people started right. And when they join the company, we need to get a distributor kit. It's got 2 or 3 audio CDs in it. And we're going to talk about until you know why. The how doesn't matter. Help them realize why they're doing the business and the next thing. And the procedures and the steps we've been teaching for years and years and years. And I walk in there, and this guy had bought thousands of dollars worth of PBR stuff. He had it all in this one room. And it was all flip charts, name badges, little cups with the company name where everybody was going to drink their juice. They had invitations, and he was trying to build this whole business model around private business receptions. Some of y'all remember that. When private business receptions, that's the way to do it. And you can go back on YouTube, a video I did way before that trend, why PBRs should never be part of your system. It's on YouTube somewhere. And it should never be part of your system. And I'm not going to get into that. But my point is the industry, it seems that we follow each other around, and we have for years. We started with grape seed extract versus pycnogenol, and which one's better, the grape seed or the whatever it was, pine bark. And we do all, and we just follow each other around. Somebody comes out with a 30-day challenge, so now everybody's got a 30-day challenge. And I watch this stuff from a distance because it just makes me want to throw up in my mouth every time I see it. Because we're looking for all these what's the little secret? Where's the foo-foo dust? What is this company doing? Well, they have a pitch book in there, so maybe we should put it. And nobody stops and says, wait a minute. What are we doing here? What is our ultimate goal? Our ultimate goal is to build volume, and that's why we're doing this special 50% off. It's not about building volume. If you build people, people will build the business, and people will give you more volume, secure volume, than you could ever create trying to take shortcuts. I'm going to end it, guys. I could go on and on. Y'all have an awesome weekend, and I would definitely talk to you Monday, and maybe over the weekend. We just kind of see. I'm going to go eat at La Rosa's Pizza tonight. Some of y'all know where that is. If you're from Northern Kentucky or Ohio, Rosa's Pizza. So I'm going to enjoy. Have a great weekend, holiday weekend, and I'll probably talk to you on Monday, but for sure Tuesday. Have an awesome weekend. We appreciate you. Come by and visit us at MLMhelp.com this weekend. Got some new articles there, and hopefully it'll give you some things to think about.